Last NFL season, we saw a numerous amount of players break out and make a name for themselves. So today, I'm here to predict this season's cluster of breakout players. I'm going to go over offensive players in this video and defensive players in the next. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. The first player I have is Drake London. He was the first receiver picked in a stacked 2022 draft ahead of Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. He has had to deal with terrible QB play for his entire career with Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, and Taylor Heineke. Despite that, he has had consistent production and turned into one of the best contested catchers in the league. With the addition of Kirk Cousins, London and the other weapons of the Falcons are immediately on the breakout list. However, as wide receiver 1, London will benefit the most from Kirk Cousins. Kirk has messed with elite weapons before on the Vikings with Diggs, Thielen, and Jettis. London could be next in line to have a great breakout season. In 2022, it was A.J. Brown. In 23, it was Amon-Ra St. Brown. And in 24, Drake London will have a breakout wide receiver year. I'm expecting 80 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 14 TDs. Hot take, but I think he can lead the league in touchdowns next season. London will establish himself as an elite top 10 receiver next season with Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball. Speaking of quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson will have an incredible breakout year. He had shown great flashes of his incredible rushing ability and cannon of an arm in just 4 games of his rookie season. After he went down, the Colts were held afloat by head coach Shane Steichen. Steichen was a large part of why Jalen Hurts had the best season of his career with the Eagles in 2022. As their OC, he helped unlock Jalen Hurts as a rusher and passer to make him an MVP candidate. As head coach, Shane Steichen can now work with and develop the most athletic QB of all time. Richardson, after a full year under Steichen, can come out next season blazing. Not to mention, Pittman Jr. had a great season last year and Adonai Mitchell was great for the Texas Longhorns. With help from the run game as well with Jonathan Taylor and a great offensive line, AR is given all the tools to succeed and have a breakout season. I'm expecting to have at least 3,000 passing yards, 20 touchdowns through the air, and at least 800 yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground. With the loss of Stephon Diggs, the Bills' weapons room looks bare. There's a hole of production that needs to be filled. With a plethora of choices, Dalton Kincaid will fill that role and establish himself as a great tight end. He had a very solid rookie year considering he was the second option. Now coming in as the first option, he could be the Bills' Travis Kelce. His production will only go up due to the fact that his targets will go up. He is going to prove to the league that he is a great borderline top 5 tight end by the end of next season. He will have all the opportunity in the world by being Josh Allen's number 1 target. I would expect 100 catches, 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He's only going to improve and get better after every year. The entire Packers wide receiver room could have a breakout season. Each one of them has so much potential to tap into as they are all very young. Starting with Christian Watson, as he might have the most potential out of all these receivers. He's the most physically gifted receiver in the room as he's the tallest and fastest with the best talent. His issue is that he's never really consistently healthy. He's shown to be great and produce whenever he's on the field, but if he is finally healthy next season, he could truly break out. After finding special treatment over the offseason, hopefully he can stay healthy and have a great season. Romeo Doubs has been cooking Jair Alexander in practice and in training camp. It sounds like he's been the wide receiver 1 for the Packers and the top target for Jordan Love. He has the most chemistry with Love and seems to be the one that he trusts the most. He has the best hands of the group as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he surpasses 1,100 yards next season. Devontae Wicks is the best route runner and he reminds me a lot of Devontae Adams. He's able to create separation easily through his routes and can prove to be one of the best next season. Lastly, Jaden Reed does it all. He could pop off at any time during the game. And he's also been burning Jair in camp as well. As the chemistry with Jordan Love grows, this four-headed monster could really run through the league. They all benefit each other as well, as they spread out the defensive attention thin and not focusing on one receiver. I believe that they are all in for great years. The Titans have just lost franchise legend Derrick Henry to the Ravens. He was a Hall of Fame running back for his entire stint with Tennessee. However, last season while he wasn't on the field, Tyjae Spears was a very efficient running back that was also an incredible receiving back. With Henry out of the picture, Spears is on his way to become the next great tight end running back. With a full workload as the first running back in the depth chart, he could explode into be one of the best receiving backs in the league. Even though the Titans signed Tony Pollard, Spears could easily overtake him in the first couple games of the season and break out. I think he can get to 900 rushing yards and 800 receiving yards next season, putting him into an elite tier of running backs. He will also be a reception machine because he will be a safe checkdown option for Will Levis. Spears is the next great tight end running back. Lastly, we have Cardinals tight end Trey McBride. He was one of the best tight ends last year with terrible QB play for a majority of the season. He became the Cardinals' best pass catcher, and with Kyler Murray coming back, he could easily cement himself as a top 5 tight end in the league. He has the size, talent, and skills to put up some elite numbers. Next season, he will be the second option behind Marvin Harrison Jr. However, in the first couple weeks of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if he absolutely exploded onto the scene. I expect 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns with Kyler Murray as his QB for the entire season. The NFL season is about a month away, which means we are entering the peak of prediction and hype season. This period is almost as good as the season itself. Predicting who will break out is always a fun exercise, so I hope you enjoyed who I picked out to break out on offense. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.